My name's Victor Nathan, and I work within the Deaf Services. I'm a clinical specialist nurse, and I work within the MBT course. Hello, my name is Jane Whittaker Douglas. I'm a senior psychoanalytic psychotherapist, and I work alongside and co-work with Victor with the MBT group. What is MBT? Many people that we work with have difficulties communicating. Many people that we work with have personality disorders. MBT helps people with personality disorder to communicate better. There's no specific treatment for personality disorder, but the NICE guidelines do say that MBT has good evidence to help people with personality disorders. So why are we running MBT therapy in the Deaf Services? There's no interpreter, so people can access the group directly in their first language, sign language. And that is a way of engaging everyone within the group in their primary language. It's confidential, people feel safe within the group without that third person there. It's a good way to build up that trust within the group. Exactly. Feedback from service users within the MBT group would agree with that. They're happy to have that direct one-to-one communication. So, MBT, what is that? It involves mentalizing. Mentalizing is the ability to have, it's imaginative activity to think that other people, activity about yourself and others. Research shows that people with personality disorders and borderline personality disorder have no attachment. So that means that they have difficulty with mentalizing. Those people need help to develop the mentalizing facility. And MBT is something that helps with that. And that's right. Most people with personality disorder often aren't even aware that they have that personality disorder or aren't diagnosed. And then when we're working through the group work and the individual work, a lot of the things that we're talking about make sense. A lot of these people have had possibly long-term therapy in the past, one-to-one sessions in the past, but still are having relationship breakdowns within their family, within their peer groups. So the MBT work has very good evidence base to show it's effective therapy practice for people with personality disorders. Also, we use a lot of psychoeducation with people because there's within the deaf community a huge range of needs, a diverse experience of people's education. So often people need that psychoeducation prior to starting the MBT work or in the initial phases of the MBT therapy. The therapy is open to people in secondary care, primary care as well, and also tertiary care. That's right. So it's open to referrals and access from a whole range of service users. We use a lot of resources, don't we? We adapt a lot of resources to make them visual. We use role-playing to make sure that people within the group are able to understand and take on the learning that happens in the group, make it much more deaf accessible. Most MBT work is with hearing people. We're, as far as we know, the only group working with deaf people, aren't we? So we are needing to adapt and amend a lot of the resources we have to meet deaf people's needs. For example, we use the thermometer, don't we? Red, yellow, blue, which is a very visual means, reference point for people to understand where they are. Blue can often mean they're feeling too emotionally cut off to mentalize. Yellow, they're in the right zone where they can really do a lot of mentalizing work. If someone's red, they're too emotional and it's difficult to then mentalize again. It means that their emotions are too high to be able to think, to be able to mentalize. And often the relationships will break down at those points, the mentalizing in a relationship. So it's how to keep someone in the yellow and minimize their impulsive behaviors, and how to work with someone to be able to so it's almost like traffic. So things are coming in and out. So things are, information's coming in and out, and relationships working interpersonally. Mentalization makes it possible for a person to think about themselves and think about other people. Normally, day to day, everyone is mentalizing throughout the day. The problems can happen when there's a good mentalizing or bad mentalizing. Do you want to add that we're trying to reduce people being too judgmental, or to kind of already decided on why someone is behaving in a certain way? It's about keeping more of an open mind and about being curious as to why someone might be doing or have done the things that they've done. If someone's emotions are too high, they're unable to mentalize. Also, if they're too low, they again can't mentalize effectively. So how can mentalization-based therapy help? Helps to improve communication, improve relationships, understanding what's happening between people interpersonally, learning to regulate one's own emotions, to keep within that the appropriate temperature, emotional temperature range, to understand our values, and like I've said before, not judgmental, to be curious, to want to engage with someone, to find out what's happening, why it's happened, and think about their life experiences and how what has happened to them. Also, it helps with relationships. Everyone has relationships with family, with friends, and so forth. Good mentalizing helps to improve those relationships. Also, we can understand our own values better and think about our own lives and why those things are important to us. It's interesting. Do you remember the service users have said to them they've been in and out of hospital for many years, often 20 years, and they've received CBT treatment, lots of therapy using paperwork, with hearing people, using interpreters, on and off for many years, and they've come into MBT and feel like something really now finally makes sense. People have become very emotional, very tearful, saying that they wanted to know about their personality disorder years ago and what's happening with them, and that MBT has been very beneficial for them. Do you remember that? That's right, I absolutely do, yeah. It's a very rewarding feeling. Because MBT is still relatively new within the deaf services, we still haven't as yet been working within our own measurement outcomes, but we've been using the Zanarini PD scale. People who score more than 8 are possibly diagnosed with personality disorder, and that's something we've been using is the Zanarini PD scale as an outcome measure. And we will again obviously work through that over the next 18 months. The structure of MBT is weekly group work, and also we facilitate the group. The patients will have the space there to lead and guide the topics within the group, but we facilitate that discussion. So there's that group work, and then every 2 weeks, the patients also have one-to-one therapy alongside. And that's MBT specific one-to-one therapy. Also, what is important is people having both the group and individual work running alongside each other. You can't have one without the other. And that's something that we try to make sure that people commit to, is that work running alongside each other. And that's because it's evidence-based, isn't it? That's right. Thank you very much.